I found myself the other night with a free evening. My wife was not here. I had an appointment that had suddenly canceled, so when it came to be 6 o'clock, I was free. So I did what any man would do when he had some unexpected free time. I found a way to spend some time doing one of my hobbies. I headed out to the golf course to hit some practice balls on the driving range. It was great. I have very little time to practice, and the Lord knows I need to practice. I hit balls for a good little while out on the practice range. When I finished, I threw my bags up on my shoulders and headed toward the car. On the way, I passed the practice green. I figured I might as well stop and putt a few practice balls as well. So I did. I noticed as I was putting that a gentleman and his two sons approached the green to do the same thing. I noticed that the older of the two boys had on a shirt that had a South Carolina Gamecocks logo on it. Well, being the friendly guy I am, I went over and said, "Hey, are you guys from South Carolina?" Sure enough, they were. So we stood there and we talked a little bit about my home state where I was born and grew up. They were actually in town on vacation from the lower part of South Carolina where they lived. I ended up telling them that I was going to be in lower South Carolina soon to participate in a FCA or a Fellowship of Christian Athletes event. He immediately said to me, "FCA? Oh, that's a great group. I used to be involved with them." In a matter of a couple of seconds, he turned and asked me, "So, are you a believer, Jack?" I knew exactly what he meant. He was asking me if I was a practicing or committed follower of Jesus Christ. So I quickly responded, "Yes, sir, I sure am." I could tell he was about to go further and he was about to ask me another question. So I cut in quick and said, "As a matter of fact, I'm a pastor of a church here locally." His eyes lit up. He said, "Man, I was just about to ask you if you'd ever committed your life to Jesus Christ." We laughed and we spent some more time talking. I walked away from that little encounter very much encouraged. Here's a man, a father, on vacation, in front of his two sons, asking me, a complete stranger, if I had faith in Jesus Christ. It was very casual. It was not confrontational at all. He didn't pull out a Bible or even use his putter to bang me over the head. He just simply, in the course of a natural conversation, talked about his faith and asked me about my faith in Christ. How cool was that? I was about to be witnessed to. I loved it. What really encouraged me is that his two sons saw and heard their dad sharing his faith in Christ with another man. What a great example. He was doing it unashamedly and in a very polite manner. What a great example for these two young boys. What a shame that more people do not do this. Unfortunately, many of us are intimidated. We keep our faith private and we don't express it freely. For this gentleman, talking about Christ was no different than a man talking about his favorite football team or any other passion in his life. Talking about Jesus was simply natural for him. Far too many of us talk far too little about Jesus. As a result, it should come as little surprise to us that we find talking about Christ in front of non-believers is hard. We're simply not used to talking about Jesus. We save that for Sunday. Guys, our faith is to be as natural a part of our lives as breathing or eating is. It's simply who we are and what we do. In your conversation with people, does your relationship to Christ make its way into the conversation? Does the role Christ plays in your life flow as naturally as a hobby or as a job? It should. Jesus said in Mark 16, verse 15, "Then Jesus said to them, as you go into all the world, proclaim the gospel to everyone." Simply put, we're to go and we're to talk as we go. Paul said in Romans 1:16, I'm not ashamed of this good news about Christ. It is the power of God at work, saving everyone. We should never be ashamed of Christ or our faith in Christ. Today I challenge you to make Christ more a matter of your own public comments. Be ready and be prepared to let people know who Jesus is and what Jesus means to you. Here's a thought for the day. Simply pray, I want my conversation to be about my faith in Christ today. And then here's a prayer to pray today. Great prayer. Pray, God, give me the boldness and the assurance to share with others my relationship with Christ. Help Jesus, you, to be a natural part of my conversation every day. God bless you.